Hello everyone, back again. Going to practice this new time trial. Well, it's the new Gtws race for Saturday. Really early onto this, but I just wanted to do some practice. I said I'd probably just stream it because I don't stream a lot of my practices. I only stream the races. I do a lot of time trialing off stream. Typically don't do time trialing on stream because it's not too entertaining. So I decided to do this one because I haven't done one in a while. Now, interesting thing is it's wet here, so this is going to be different. Normally what happens is if you go so many laps it gets dry, so we'll see how it goes. Hello Jason, thanks for joining. Must be up early again. Hello Barry, thanks for joining. Nice to see you back in the stream. Yeah, I was thinking that, Jason. I don't know if I was just to watch someone, I'd probably just stay in bed. Okay, let's go out and just look at the leaderboard since this has been let's say open for 20 minutes. And the thing is, the last GTWS race started at 9, so that's probably still on and people are still streaming it, so it's extremely early, it's like 20 minutes. It's only been open for 20 minutes. Yes, this is the next race. Hopefully it'll be a good one. It's going to be raining. Let's see what we have. Fair enough, Jason. Fair enough. Thanks everyone for joining. So I will go into the event. And as we can see here, there's a lot of rain. But you can see it is moving. So what typically happens in these type of time trials, the rain will just move out and then the track will eventually dry up. So this should be good for just general wet practice. So I guess we'll try this. Just check something. Alright, nice. Whoa! It's been a little bit of time since I've done any wet weather racing. Oh my god. Joe, we might have to just do something with this now. Hold on. I have the box here. That pedal is just so annoying. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. Hopefully this worked. I'll just put a little bit in, not too much so it doesn't start spilling everywhere. Let's try this. Yeah, sounds better. Believe it or not, I'm actually moving my brake pedal. It's not squeaking. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna have to work on some wet lines here. So let's just try a few different things. Very wet. Let's try the extreme line here. Using the inside line gives more grip, which is a good thing to know in these conditions. It normally works if you go on the inside line, it's inside, outside, then inside again. Oh. I think the last time I did a race here was in Group 4 in these type of conditions. That one is a normal line, I think. Still trying to figure this out, so don't mind the driving. So I think the best lap is like a 129, somewhere in there. Just gotta assume that's with a drier track. To start that corner a little bit wider. Somehow we improved on that lap. check the weather. Might just start drying up a little bit. Kind of trying to find the places that have the most grip. Not too bad. Some of these lines will probably be better if we just take it the traditional way, but we'll figure it out. That seemed to work okay. As we get a bit better and the track dries a bit more, we should get a lot more time. We'll have to figure that out because that'll be very important in the rain. We need to make sure we get that right. See, the inside, outside, inside works quite well because you get that exit speed by going really, really tight to the apex. Same with this, you can turn in quite late, get onto the inside and it feels completely dry and we gain a lot of time there. Give an example, if we go too narrow, keep turning, we just understeer completely out, so that's just not going to work. Look how much time we lost. So for these type of tracks you're going to have to start really wide. Especially if it's a very long corner. Okay, it's getting a little bit more dry, so we should maybe get a little bit of time on this lap. We'll check the weather in a second. Oh, that time was a little bit deep. A little bit too deep that time. Got really good exit though, because all that extra grip from being on the marble side of the road. Hello Raphael, thank you very much for joining. Welcome in. Let's try third gear. That's definitely a penalty. It's not really an accurate comparison. It's a little bit drier, the slap, I think, in some parts, so some attempts of other gear, this mightn't be 100% accurate. I could, but then again I feel like I don't want to get involved in that. Last Saturday was already enough for me, I think. Just gonna do a chill stream here. I assume probably lots of people were hitting each other and banging into stuff. I outbraked myself, I have to stay on the inside line. We're up a lot though, interestingly. So much more grip on that inside. See what that said. Miro and Digit were playing bumper cars. Yeah, no, not what we want to see. That time maybe it's a bit too wide. It's fine. We did the exact same thing. I have no idea. Maybe someone said I got buffed recently, I don't know, in the wet. I can't remember. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think it's 100% the worst. I don't really know, to be honest. I know this car is decent enough. I haven't managed to spin it yet, which is a good sign. Too much traction. Creator of our name, thank you for joining. I'm doing good. How are you? So that time I broke a little bit too early. So when you brake too early and turn in, kind of like what I'm just doing right now, you just understeer out and you have no exit speed. You need to be like this wide and then kind of cut back like that. McLaren's decent enough around here in the wet, I think. I need to work on my dry pace though soon. Drying up a little bit so it's good. Let's check the weather. Might be coming to an end soon. Well, we were a lot quicker there. Track's drying up, definitely. Still first gear there, and we braked a little bit too early again. Keep getting penalties there. Let's just not get a penalty by stopping. Those edges are really deadly because they'll give you penalties if you go on them. Racing line is still very greasy. We have to try to stay off it for as long as we can. Hello ads, thank you very much for joining. How are you today? Track is very prone to changing in conditions. I'm good, thanks for asking. The track just... I'll show you guys in a second. Grey Rock, thank you for joining. Don't be afraid to use traction controller or lift because you will spin if you're not careful. This is a decent lap. Not too bad, I guess. Not a great line, but the extra grip from it being a little bit drier at the moment makes it easier. If I go onto the racing line there, we will definitely not get the traction we need out of this corner, so we're doing a decent job at the moment. You just don't want to be too close to that apex as well because it'll understeer you onto the racing line, which is not what you want here. And anytime you accelerate on the racing line, you'll get a lot of oversteer. Just like that. Don't particularly want that. Doing a little bit more grippy in parts. Not too bad. Yes, I am on a Fanatec. I'm on a Fanatec DD Extreme. The DD Extreme, obviously with the steering wheel it comes with, the Gran Turismo edition, and the CSL pedals. I think they might have done this combo last year. They did it in a few, I think one of the last exhibition series as well. I think this was one of the events. Well, this is the GTWS setup. It's all the same. The only difference is the rig. So if I go on the racing line, it's a lot more slippy. It's not really grippy, and we just lost a lot of time there, which makes sense. Yep, I got a good grasp of the setup as of now. Oh. Just stop and avoid that penalty. I can feel it's getting a little bit more grippy. Let's hope that next section of rain doesn't make it go back too much the other way. Nice line. Oh, another penalty. It's really difficult and dangerous, that corner, because you're basically nearly guaranteed a penalty every time you fight it. Go wider on this corner, don't want to understeer. I take the racing line. Okay, it feels more grippy here. See what we can do on this lap. Maybe a little bit deep, but still not the worst exit. Let's try go deep, but not too deep, that we just lose too much speed. Bit too slidey there, didn't need that. New fast lap, not too bad. That one a little bit slow on the entry, and probably that over the curb didn't help too much with maintaining the speed. That time braking a little bit early, and we were on the racing line, which loses you a lot of time. Top time at the moment is 1:29, I think, somewhere in there. .129 is not, I guess, too crazy since it does dry up. Yeah, don't worry, all these events dry up, so by the time we get to like lap 25 or 30, it'll probably be dry. No, not today. I'm only focusing on Group 3 at the moment until the end of the Gtws official season. Oh. Racing line nearly killed me. Gained a lot of time from accelerating on the draw, or on the inside line there. Yeah, I can feel it getting drier. It helped a lot, that extra grip there. Nearly time for intermediates. Nearly time for, I guess, the dry line to come back. The dry line, or the racing line, typically comes back in a little bit after it goes underneath the full wet marker. That time is a little bit too wide, but it's not the worst. Nice to get it on inside line acceleration there. Used inside again, where the car doesn't normally go. It seems like in a dry race. So you see where you make all the time here. Ooh. Nearly back on the regular normal line conditions. We're close, but not quite yet. What does that message say? Yeah, it's just about keeping the balance right, not pushing too hard, but then again, making sure you're just doing the right things. A lot of grip here now. Even in the wet, you'd prefer to do the wet lines, the really wide lines. But you just need to make sure you don't go too wide and go off the track. Sometimes in battles it can become difficult. Not quite racing lines yet. Still a little bit difficult. So no, you'd kind of keep the wet lines until maybe halfway. I'd say around now we're kind of approaching the dry lines. When you got to maybe like halfway between, if you get halfway on the rain bar, if you get it to, if you're in the intermediate level, which we are now, halfway through the intermediate level, that's kind of roughly where you start using the wet lines. So halfway and above, I typically, it seems like the best thing to do would stick to the wet weather lines, which is the really wide ones on most corners. And when it starts approaching back to the dry tires, so you start using the dry lines, like they're your normal racing lines. So when you get to like 50% on the moisture meter, then you should go back to 50% and below, you should go back to the normal racing lines. So we're kind of near the limit now, so we'll see how it goes. We will try a normal racing line, I guess. Still a little bit too wet. I think we'll pit and go on to the intermediates and see how we do. Let's turn this off. Normally for wet weather and this type of track, default will probably be better. A little bit of a blunder. I was trying weak for, I guess, deep forest, which is actually a decent enough track for weak type braking. A lot of fast trail braking corners. Weak is typically good at that type of stuff. Also, using weak in this type of weather, be more prone to locking up. So default's definitely the way to go. Make sure we don't mess this up. Let's try the intermediates. We'll see how fast the intermediates are. I think for the tyres, it really depends on the race and how much time is left. If you're halfway through the race and you can kind of tell it might be drying really quickly, then you might be just better off to stay on the wets. But if the track's drying really slowly, you can obviously try the inters. But normally I think that the conditions dry kind of quickly, so you might just be better off staying on the wets if you're starting on the wets. It really depends. So think about now, it's probably back to normal racing line conditions. Close enough. Maybe even a little bit wider. Mightn't be too bad. But it seems to be more in the dry line favour. Still though, a few corners you need to be careful of, because when you go on the curb it's still very dangerous. We braked very early for that corner. Luckily, even though we lost a bit of time, we still gained quite a lot because of the extra grip we now have. Lost a little bit there. Yeah, thank God. We need to get close to these 129 times. Once you get onto the dry tire, it really picks up the time. A little bit late. Let's try the wet line again. Yeah, not really much points. It's too dry now for the wet line to do anything. Only these really long corners would be only the corners I'd be like, you might be able to gain something. Because even touching these little curbs here, it's still quite greasy. Looks like we're back in business though. Gained a lot of time there. Just remember to brake a little bit earlier this time. Perfect. Well, nearly perfect. We got a little bit of understeer, which is okay. Still a little bit greasy there, those curbs, but you can kind of get away with it at this point. Track's really smooth now. Approaching the faster times. Just took a chunk out of that last lap for that corner. Try going a little bit wider here. Cut back a bit more might be better for us. Looking good. Track's drying very quickly, which is helping us a lot. nearly time for softs. Normally when you get to like that 1/3 of the bar, it's kind of where you kind of pit. Okay, it went a little bit deep, but we got it rotated really quickly, which helps a lot. Going really wide there helps a lot. Just maximizing the amount of track you can have to your advantage. The more track you can use, the better. You got that corner a bit better. The last few times we've been hitting the curb, which gives you a bit too much understeer. Problem with that corner is when you start going too quickly, it becomes really difficult to keep it straight. Any of these curves. Nice exit, a little bit of understeer coming from the inside curb, but it's fine. Maximizing all the track limits. Down to first for a little bit of rotation. Should have probably entered a bit wider, but it's not the worst. Could have been a lot worse. Well, the extra speed we're getting is crazy. Probably this is the lap to go in. Probably it's also good to just test how much grip and how much I can get away with on the softs. Oh my god, the grip. Crazy. Keeping the limits. Okay, I want to finish this lap, but makes more sense to pit. Nice. Now, tips. Problem with pitting from wets to softs on a drying track is you may spin on the pit exit, so we'll have to watch out for that. Everyone should watch out for that, which is an important thing to know. AHR Hills, thank you very much for joining. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but if this is your first time, I appreciate you joining. We're just testing the new Gtws. We've went from wets to dry conditions. On the 30th lap, This is just the time trial, but it starts wet, so you have to go this many laps. Wow, lots of grip. Don't often get soft tires in these type of races. We got it in the last GTWS, but in days, it's very rare. Thing to note, don't touch curbs on soft tires when it's drying. And just really keep to the racing line. Typically for these corners, you want to go narrow. Normally you think the racing line game would think would be quite wide and cut in, but it's actually not. You just want to go really narrow here and not get on these curbs too much. Thank you, AHR Kills. Yeah, sorry for not recognizing you. I'm really bad at recognizing people. See, once I see like AHR, it's one of those things where it's like, there's so many, it's always like, oh, he could have been here before, but then he might not have been here before. My GTWS has been good. I've only done 2 events. I didn't do the one today. The problem is, I'm just going to stick with GT3 or Group 3 cars till the end of the official season, because I'd say there's no point for me to switch to Group 4 until the end. There might be Group 4 next year, and if there is, it'll be quite entertaining. Thank you, AHR Hills. I try my best, but I think it's important for me to remember who's been in here and who hasn't. Okay, so it seems to be dry enough now that we don't really need to be worrying too much. As long as we don't go ridiculously wide into some of these, where it is really greasy. Those really dark patches are the only problem. That was a pretty conservative lap. Let's see what lap time we can get though. There is a method to this. RCF Group 4. Yeah, I've never really used it. To be honest, I haven't done much Group 4 in ages. That's the problem. Hello, Arthur Masso Nunez. I did not do the Group 4 race today. I've decided to skip that and just focus on the McLaren Group 3. So I'm just practicing this new event. It's been out for like an hour and 22 minutes. It's about 23 minutes past 10. So I still have a little bit of time left, and annoyingly enough, this time trial starts in the wet. So you have to go this many laps to get to the dry. But it's good practice in the wet, so it's not too bad. You wanted to torture yourself. Yeah, no, don't do that. I don't know how long the race will be. Typically races are about like 40 to 50 minutes. Yeah, the McLaren might be bad here. I think the last time this was in the daily race, it was kind of dominated by the WRX and the Lancer Evolution. Luckily, probably no one's going to be picking those. As well as this is a wet weather race, so we might be okay actually. And it is more of a tyre saver race, I think, than a fuel saver. There's only times one fuel, so that suits us as well. I don't like saving fuel in the McLaren. The McLaren's really bad at that. Because if you short shift, it just doesn't like it. And if you fuel map, it just becomes really underpowered really quick. So the race seems to be decent enough. Maybe the time trial / qualifying wouldn't be too good. I need to practice a few methods on this though. That turn 1 has a strange line that I remember. Okay, 4/10 up. I don't know what the fastest lap is now. Hopefully it's still like a 129 or something. That was way too wide. So, could be fine though. Third gear might be better there. Still slightly wet, I'm just realising. I think people were doing this line before. Oh my god, look at that time. Not very good, we clipped the edge of that curb. I'll check that chat in a second. Need to do a bit better on some of these corners. Not too bad. It's such a strange line. That is such a interesting one that I found in dailies a few months ago. Still a little bit wet on that hill. This track is difficult. I'm surprised I haven't got a penalty yet in the dry. Ooh, that was undercooked. Still improved though. Might be a penalty. That's where you get into the zone of penalties. We give out a lot of penalties for that type of stuff, what I just did there. Better line. That was still slower than I would have hoped. Oh no, what the hell are you doing? Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, accelerated a little bit too early. Not too bad though. No penalties yet, surprising. Let's check some messages. Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting race. Any wet race is interesting. The only problem you have to worry about in wet races sometimes is the other people around you. Yeah, the RCF is quite a difficult car to drive, so in the wet that might be tricky. I'm not so sure if it's good or not in the wet. Yeah, I would agree. This is literally just a penalty simulator on this track. Okay, thank you. That time we did the opposite, but not in a good way. RCF's a nightmare? Yeah. Even in the dry. Okay, if we smooth out some of these corners, we should have a decent enough lap on our hands. It's going to be so difficult to keep that smooth. Oof. Don't want to be on that yellow sausage curb because that unsettles the car and we won't have as much grip. Not too bad. Sacrifice a little bit of the exit speed, that's fine. We went a little bit wide, but we improved. Are we going to get a penalty at all? Maybe they changed the penalties because that seemed like a penalty. See? When you get a perfect exit, look how much time you just recouped. A little bit wide. I think we're entering that corner maybe a little bit wide. That's not too bad. Will they give me a penalty now? Surely they'll give me a penalty now. There we go. I think our luck's ending there. I think we'll get to a stage where we'll just slow down in pace. There will be a point where that happens. Let's hope we don't do that on a flying lap. Let's be like a little bit of a cheat and get a good start. Let's do it slower. Okay, nice. Want to be a bit wider than that, but so difficult to get it right all the time. Okay, that was poor. Surprisingly, we didn't really lose much. Oh god, we lost a lot there. That's kind of what happens when you like miss a gear. I think we just slid too much. We might have missed a gear, or we just didn't get the traction. Decent. Ooh, okay, that was a little bit expected. Can't get away with it all the time. If you go on the edge of some of the curbs, they'll give you penalties. Let's just try and get this corner right. I want to see if we can get it right. I think we're just like I think we could have braked a little bit later there, and we need to get on the power a little bit earlier. Ah, don't get another penalty. It will be interesting to see where I finish at the end of how many laps I end up doing here. That one might be a penalty. No, not this time, surprisingly. That one corner we're struggling a little bit. Either the grip's just not there anymore, or else we're missing something. Oh, that's really bad. The grip's really weird, it's very understeer at times. Need to be careful, because any of these could be a penalty at any time. Typically happens during races. That was a bit better, but we just would have liked a bit more on second gear. Well, I meant first gear, sorry. That was a little bit slow. I had a feeling that was a penalty. Let's see if we can do something on this corner. The problem is on that corner, it's really easy to miss the gear because when you're like kind of bouncing all over the curbs and the exit, it kind of interferes with the way the car wants to work. Let's try again. Oh, it's waste of my time. Track is definitely changing. It feels a little bit different every other lap. That's pretty good. What I suspect is the wind could be changing slightly. I think it kind of changes its speed ever so slightly, but maybe not its direction. Now it's getting darker. This is weird. Not a good corner, but our other one was a lot worse. Thank you, Hills, very much for joining. I'll see you again, man. I was 100% so sure that was a penalty. That's unfortunate. We're at the stage where it's too easy to make mistakes. I really don't like that corner at all. It just bounces way too much any car. This car is actually quite good in that corner. There's a lot of other cars you could have which are a lot worse. I think braking late or later might be the strategy. Third gear could be the strategy too. I'm gonna have to figure some of this stuff out. I go quite wide on some of these, you might be wondering, but it's pretty much just to get the widest line possible, get as much space to be able to turn in. Don't want to be slowing down too much. I don't know Flash because this is like a 40 lap time trial before you get to the actual dry part. I was doing a lot of wet practice. One of this cooler conditions will help us be faster. Maybe like 50 minutes, I'd say. But nearly, this is quite long, but it's really good if you want to just practice almost like a mini race, because you can do the wet at the start, which is what I've been doing. Finally, we did a semi-good version of that. Damn it, I didn't want the sausage curb. That sucks. Not too bad, that was quite good. Okay, I think that was a penalty. We have to do the old stop situation, unfortunately. That should get rid of the penalty. Should have had an improvement a while ago because we're definitely quicker. That's probably another penalty. Okay, no, not this time, so... That's great. That was not good at all. Didn't expect to get that much rotation. No, no restarts. Damn it, that wasn't very good. Let's try this again. Shouldn't have taken that curb, that's annoying. Okay, just be careful we don't slide too much on that curb. I don't know, Greyrock, because I can't go out and check. Not really sure. Okay, thanks Grey Rock. Not the worst, could be better though. We're gonna have to work on that. That corner, we did really good on our fastest lap. Oh no. Still up. Oof. That should have been better. I don't know which lap to stop on. Okay, so we got a better exit that time. Okay. Interesting. Penalty, yes, I knew it. I know exactly when a penalty comes. Trying to see where that line worked better. Sometimes you go between the curbs, you can get a bit luckier. 28.9 is a big gap from first to second, although this time trial hasn't really been open, so I think for me a 27 should really be on the cards, I think. It's all about getting it though, if I want to go that far. Yeah, I wasn't intentionally doing this for the dry racing. I wanted to try the wet as well. The wet lasts a long time, it's like 50 minutes at least. Our final corner's not that good. Half a tent down, not great. And we've ended up actually losing time on that. Well, just on the exit, we gained slightly. We did the same thing as what we did on our fastest lap. That wide line felt good, just really didn't get the exit speed. Seemed to have got the exit that time. Oh, that's slow, slow, slow. Yeah, I agree, Grey Rock. Look at all the time we gained. Bro, we get the fastest lap, like, we were so far down. Okay, we're gonna have to improve this. Oh, that's so slow. That was really slow. Not too bad, we just need to do that a little bit faster. Nice. So we just got the perfect exit speed there. I think we've touched the curb too much. That's slow. Ah, so disappointing. We're gonna have to stop and start again. What time is it? Okay, it's 11 o'clock. We'll have to finish up soon. Don't worry, we'll go soon. Okay, we kind of did what we did in the last lap, but in reverse. Got a really good exit. Or entrance, but not amazing exit. Let's try this again. It's fine, could have been better though. It was nearly the perfect lap. If you jump the last curve a little bit, or not even jump it, just like go too quick, it just give you too much understeer, so just make sure you manage it better. For some reason on the slow laps we seem to be just a lot quicker. Yeah, no, great up. I just really messed up. Should have been a lot better there. I need to work on my game. And let's not do what I just did. Thank God. Another penalty. We have to keep going till we get like one good improvement. Maybe first gear might be the better gear there. I actually did that last corner perfect on my fastest lap. It's really tough to beat. That's really annoying. It's so difficult to get that right. Hello Ian, welcome to the action. That was quite good. I could feel it. Stupid corner. I wish this car didn't understeer that much. It's really stable, which is great, but it needs to be a little less more annoying on those corners. Still down. That's so annoying. That's what I'm talking about. On those curves, it just the car hit the limiter. It's so annoying. This isn't an amazing lap, but we are up. Oh, that's like the worst place that we could have got that. I have to go for some minus laps. Alright, let's go again. It's way too much understeer there. It's really, really bad. Try first gear again on that corner. Just clipped the inside curb. Thank God we made the corner. That's definitely a penalty. I guess I was wrong. That was weird. Now we're level again. Made an improvement there. Oh, every time we just seem to be doing that. Clipping that inside curb. Let's check the time. We have to get on the power really early, but we must not spin the wheels too much. Yeah, I'm not sure if first gear really works too well here. I think second is better. Rotating the wheel a little bit too much there. Thought we might have got another penalty there, but no. Oof, that could be a penalty. Everything could be a penalty. Every corner could be a penalty. Okay, first seemed to work okay there. Oof, not so good. Still some time to play with though. How did we do that corner so good? Okay, we have to get this lap soon because the weather is changing too much. was decent. Oh, thank you. Okay, that could have been a bit better, but still, it's not too bad. Oh my, bro, we're going to keep getting penalties. This is so annoying. It's literally on the line as well. That is so annoying. You can't get any closer to not getting a penalty for that. I know all the lines, so I'll pretty much know every time there'll be a penalty. Except for that first turn, which is a very odd scenario, where they gave a lot of penalties for a lot of questionable things. Hasn't been too much of a problem so far, so I'm happy enough with that. We'll have to wrap it up when we get to the 2-hour mark, or at least 2-hour mark is the latest. Oof, that could have been a penalty if we got any further on the outside. Okay, we got very fortunate with the bounce, so that made it really, really good entrance for us and exit. Really good exit as well. We didn't get as much curve. That helps us with the predictability of the gear change. Understeering like crazy. Oof. So that's a penalty. Okay, not this time. I need to figure out what I can get away with and what I can't. I see the wind has changed slightly. stick with this. It's not the worst effort, considering our last fastest lap was quite good at this stage. It's so annoying. We just completely lost all our speed because of the understeer. We need to be a bit braver on that corner. What the hell? Car went flying there. Oof. Let's try this again. I'm getting tired, as you can probably tell. Pretty good. That's what we did the last fastest lap. Seems to be working quite well. Just need to do a good few sectors here. That should have been better, but it's not too bad. The most unconventional thing I've ever seen, but we take those. It's probably a penalty. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap that up there because I normally would go for hours. And no one wants to see that, and I'm not going to be doing it because I have to go to, what's it called? I need to go yeah, sleep, because that's what I need to do. Let me get the stream back up. I've been going so long. I am sorry, everyone. Okay, I'm going to end it there, and let's just quickly go back to leaderboards. I'm sure people want to see that. Okay, I just wanted to take a photo of that just for reference. Great practicing. Maybe not racing, but nice. Damn, that is a massive gap. Obviously, maybe the standard is very basic, but no one yet from the very top of the top. Yeah, I know what you mean, Jason. I'm just trying to be, I guess, a little bit quirky with it. Okay, anyways, I'm going to end it here. Thanks everyone for joining. I don't think we managed to crash in that, which is actually odd, because normally I'm always bad when I come back to the rain. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining. I will probably be back tomorrow, or else I'll just keep doing stuff online to myself, because maybe that's not really the most entertaining thing to watch, but I will see. Maybe I'll do a poll. So thanks everyone for joining. I will see you guys next time, which will either be Thursday, Friday, but definitely Saturday, because the race is on Saturday. So thanks everyone. I'll see you then. My mic might have slipped a bit. Thanks.